Charlie Chaplin is the king of comedy, the king of silent era. His character has a very distinct personality. Has a tiny moustache, always wobbles around holding a cane. His bowler hat in black and white suit. The lovable Charlie Chaplin always lands up in awkward and embarrassing situations that bring us to a lot of laughters and fun. Charlie Chaplin became a worldwide icon and is considered as one of the most influential figures in the history of film industry. His movies are not just any mindless comedies, but rather they highlighted social and political themes of those era. They can be seen as a triumph over the adversities. Now, during his early years, he established himself as a cinematic idol and was renowned and loved for the naive character Tramp that he played. Now, he popularized comedy across the globe and created it at an international level. All his movies had a distinct flavor and distinct cinematic techniques. Charlie Chaplin was a master at creating illusions even without any special effects, and most of his films were photographed in 35mm black and white. Chaplin was a perfectionist. He was a director, producer, editor, and he even composed music for most of his movies. Charlie Chaplin was born in London and he grew up in much poverty and faced many hardships early in life. His father was mostly absent, and at the young age of 14, his mother was committed to a mental asylum. His journey into the performing art began at a very young age. He began touring the musical halls and worked as a stage actor and a comedian. Now, at the young age of 19, he was signed to the prestigious Fred Carno Company, which brought him to America. Charlie Chaplin's life is a rags to riches story. From poverty to becoming one of the highest paid actors in the world, and that too at a very young age of 26 years. The Kid. It was one of the first movies to combine comedy with drama. It is said that losing his child as well as his own childhood deeply influenced the making of this movie. He starred with 4-year-old Jackie Cognan, who played the role of his adopted son and his sidekick. The story starts with an unmarried mother who leaves her newborn son by placing a note, "Please love and care for this orphan child." And after a series of events, the child eventually lands up with the tramp. 5 years pass by and the kid and the tramp, which was played by Charlie, live in a tiny room with little money but lots of love in their heart. The other important movies are A Woman of the Paris and The Gold Rush, Lita Grey and The Circus, City Lights, The Dictator. Now, Modern Time film was released in 1936. In this movie, his iconic Little Tramp character struggles to survive in the modern, industrialized world. The film is a comment on the desperate employment and financial conditions that many people faced during the Great Depression. In Chaplin's view, these conditions were created due to modern industrialization. It is also notable that this was the movie when Chaplin portrayed the tramp character for the last time, and it was the first time when Chaplin's voice was heard on film. The Great Dictator. It was an American satirical comedy drama. It is considered Chaplin's first true sound film. It created a record and was considered a blockbuster and was equally praised by critics. Now this movie is a stirring condemnation of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. Charlie Chaplin is much loved and impersonified even today. Now there is a very interesting real-life incident that happened in France. So once Charlie Chaplin entered a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest, and interestingly he ended up at the 20th position. His career spanned more than 75 years, from childhood in the Victorian era until a year before his death in 1977. It encompassed both adulation and controversy.